Steam is jam-packed with insane amount of free-to-play games, but let's be honest, finding good ones can be a bit of a nightmare. But one of the best way to separate hidden gems from the forgettable stuff by looking at Steam reviews. So in today's video, I'm gonna bring you 20 of the best free Steam games that highly rated by players with overwhelmingly positive reviews. And according to Steam, these are the games that people genuinely love, recommend, and keep coming back to. And the best part is every game on the list is 100% free to play, plus I'm pretty sure you never heard about half of these games before. So no more wasting time, sit back, relax, let's jump right into it. I'm starting with Sheepy, a short adventure. It's a beautiful little 2D pixel platformer where you play as a plushy sheep brought to life exploring kind of a haunting abandoned world. The gameplay is very tight and simple. You're jumping, dodging hazards and unlocking abilities as you go, and it's all backed by an amazing original soundtrack that really sets the mood. There is not a tons of spoken story, but the world and the music tell you plenty as you go along, plus it's surprisingly emotional at the end. It's a very short single play title, will take you around an hour to complete, plus you don't really have to have a super high-end PC to play this one. Deathly Stillness is a bit of an oddball. It's a third-person zombie action game where you wander around shooting and surviving hordes of undead. There isn't much in a way of a deep story. Even the developers call it a very simple project, but the core mechanics of scavenging for ammos and taking out zombies hit enough to be fun for a chill session. At launch the game only had like couple of maps and variety of weapons, but now they added new maps, even some backroom style of maps, so there is decent enough content to explore as a free title. So don't expect like a deep story, deep narrative, anything like that. If you just want to jump in and shoot down some zombies in a free time, it's a pretty cool game to try out. Next up we got a game called The Looker, and it's one of those quirky single player puzzle adventure games where you wake up on this mysterious island and have to solve puzzles to figure things out. I would say the game is more about thinking than action, with some scenarios that throws different little brain teasers at you. The atmosphere is a bit strange and some people love the vibe and the humor, but I personally found it a bit weird. But despite all that, the Steam reviews are overwhelmingly positive with huge number of players recommending it. So if you're into puzzle adventure style of games, definitely give it a try on this one. The WereCleaner is a very fun little single player game that I really enjoy at launch. So in this game you play as a werewolf janitor doing night shifts and try to clean up messes without co-workers seeing your wolf form. It's a very fun single player focused stealth comedy game where you balance sneaking, destruction and cleanup as you navigate this office chaos. Steam reviews are overwhelmingly positive with super high praise for how fun and weird it feels, and I believe not only on Steam, it's available on other platforms. I play this one on my Nintendo Switch, and I believe it's also available on Android and iOS as well, so give it a try. Fun little game and won't take a long time to complete. Next up we got Try Again, a free single player action adventure platformer that feels like a mix of parkour, platforming and narrative flair. In this game you play as Benny, a test character trapped inside an unfinished video game who tries to prove that he deserves to be the main character. The gameplay is fast paced with wall runs, tricky jumps and environmental hazards that keep you moving. It's simple to pick up but can be difficult sometimes, but very satisfying when you actually nail some of those tricky sections. For a free to play title, this one got a great story with some very familiar voice acting, and as I said before, it's a completely free single player title, will take you around maybe 2 hours to complete, so go ahead and give it a try if you want something more fun, energetic and creative. Disfigure is an insanely addictive top-down action roguelike shooter where you're fighting hordes of monstrous foes in these pitch-dark arenas and constantly leveling up your build. You get to mix and match tons of weapons and perks, and every run feels fresh because of how many upgrades and combos you can try out. And the game also got that unique limited vision mechanic where you can only see what's right around you or far ahead but not both, and that makes every run tense and exciting. It is purely a single player title with thousands of positive reviews on Steam. The only disappointing thing about the game is that it is very short. It will take you around maybe 30 minutes an hour to complete. Other than that, it's a pretty good free game to try out. A Date with Death is another very unique game on our list today with overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam, and this one is basically a supernatural, more like a dating simulator or a visual novel style of a game where you ended up chatting or maybe falling for the Grim Reap himself. You can customize your character, decorate their apartment and pet your cute companion, and make choices in conversation that really change how the story unfolds. It is deeply a story-driven single-player experience and surprisingly emotional and funny at the same time. It is personally not my style of a game, but a lot of people recommending it on Steam, so give it a try if you're into that. If you're looking for something more relaxing and cozy, we got a cool little single-player title called Poco, and this one actually very recently dropped on Steam. It's more like a point-and-click adventure that feels like throwback to a classic storybook game, but with a bit of a modern-day twist. In this game, you play as this tiny clown banished from a fantastic circus world, exploring the below world, solving puzzles, and meeting quirky characters along the way. As I said, it is purely a single-player title and won't take a long time to complete. All in all, if you're into a cool story game with a beautiful art style, this is an awesome little game that a lot of people recommend it on Steam. Guys, if you ever wanted a Souls-like kart racing game with gothic vibes, Nightmare Kart is absolutely wild in the best way possible. And this isn't your typical rainbow tracks. You're zooming through spooky Victorian street with retro-inspired pixel graphics, drifting, boosting, and using weapons to battle opponents. Obviously, as you guys can see, the art style and everything inspired from a lot of Souls-like games, especially games like Bloodborne. It's got both single player and multiplayer option, including PvP and local split screen, which make it perfect to jump in with your friends. It used to be pretty popular, but nowadays, well, not so much. But if you get a couple of friends who enjoy this style of games, you can simply jump in and have some fun. Moving on to another extremely cool looking co-op game to play with your friends, and it is called Disfigure. It's a super clever co-op puzzle platformer that feels almost like living in a maze. You basically control two minotaurs stuck in a different half of the split screen, and the trick is to merge those two halves so you can wrap between them and solve levels together. It is simple to learn but crazy fun to play with another friend. It is one of those games that teamworks really matter. And obviously on Steam the game is having overwhelmingly positive reviews, and it tagged as a local co-op or a multiplayer title, but you can enjoy the game solo if you want. At number 11, we got Helltaker, another legendary free puzzle adventure where you dive into hell on a mission to build a harem of demon girls. So basically you solve these grid-based puzzles to get through each level, and in between you get funny, cheesy dialogues with sharply dressed demon waifus that are both charming and hilarious. It is another short single-player game, so you can blast through in one setting. Plus the game has well over 50,000 positive reviews on Steam. You guys remember that good old snake games that we used to play on old Nokia phones? And this one had that same concept, but it's much more fun to play. So it is called Snake Force, and it's a cool little spin-off of that classic Snake formula matched with top-down shooter action. So in this game you control a squad that grows behind you like a snake, and everybody shoots where you aim. But the bullets can also hit your own line, so positioning and strategy matter more than what you expect. So it took me a few tries to get used to it, but once you get the hang of it, it is extremely fun. It's another single-player arcade-style action game that feels fast and surprisingly tactical for how simple it looks, so I'm recommending you guys to download it and try it yourself. The Children of Clay is a first-person horror/mystery adventure where you play as an archaeologist examining this creepy ancient artifact. The gameplay is mostly about point-and-click investigation, reading books, and uncovering the dark secret behind this unsettling relic. Even though it's tagged as a horror game, it's not like jump scares or anything. It's more about the atmosphere and the creeping. It is another very short single-player title, but the ending might surprise you, so if you have like 15-20 minutes to spare, this one is worth jumping into. At number 14, we got The New Flesh. It's an ambient first-person exploration experience built around music from Redbox. You basically working through these surreal environments tied to the game's soundtrack, discovering secrets, collecting records, and just soaking in this artful world that feel like a playable music video. There is not much combat or intense action. It's more about pacing and vibing to the music that really drive the experience. Pretty cool game, and seems to be a lot of people are loving it already on Steam. DOGWALK is another awesome little adventure game that I remember covering during my monthly free game videos, and this one is basically a heart-melting, casual single-player adventure where you control a big fluffy dog exploring this handcrafted winter forest with a little kid buddy in tow. It's a very cozy, relaxing exploration game. You run around finding things in the environment and help to decorate the snowman together. The art style and the visual have that amazing handcrafted feel, which is one of the reasons why that I feel like people are loving it on Steam. If you're looking for something more relaxing, cute, and casual, this one is totally free to download on Steam. Moving on to number 16, we got the Expendabros. It's a 2D run-and-gun throwback that feels like a mashup Broforce with the Expendable action movie synergy. You blast through levels with a lot of guns, explosions, and over-the-top effects either on your own or with up to 4-player local co-op. There is no deep narrative or story, anything like that. It's all goofy action and cheesy one-liners, but that's pretty much the whole point. It is fun, chaotic, and satisfying to tear through enemies with ridiculous weapons. The game actually came way back in 2014, so you have no issues running this game on any type of potato PC or laptop in 2026. Up next we got Handshakes, a super clever puzzle game in the style of Soccerbone, but of course with some creativity. In this game, you're guiding two hands through grid-based puzzles so they can finally meet for a warm, firm handshake. You control each hand across obstacles, push boxes, press buttons, or sometimes even cut an arm to use it like a tool just to get to your goal. It's got about 30 puzzles that are designed to make you think without being frustrating, and the simplicity and the charm really works in its favor. You can play it solo or team up with another friend on shared split screen on co-op, or even remote play together, so each one of you can control one hand. So pretty cool game overall. If you haven't played it yet, now is the time to download and try it yourself. Bullet Hell is another top-down action shooter that mixes bullet hell chaos with tight control and stylish combat. You play as an angel on a mission to blast your way through waves of enemies, including demons and big bosses. You get to dash, grapple, and shoot until your fingers sweat. It is all single player, but it feels like an intense arcade session each time you jump in. Very simple game to pick up, but harder to master. On Steam, it's built up a huge fan base with overwhelmingly positive reviews from several thousand players. It is so fun, so addictive, and it's completely free on Steam. Cheese Rolling is a hilarious chaos-packed multiplayer racer built around one of the wildest real-world traditions, and that is chasing a wheel of cheese down a steep hill. So basically in this game, you and up to 8 players online can scramble down the hill and try to catch this cheese wheel as fast as you can. I tried this multiple times, but I couldn't catch the cheese at least once. It's so difficult. Maybe I'm bad at it, but anyway, there is also an optional offline single-player mode if you want to patry, so just laugh at your own mistakes. The controls are intentionally goofy and loose, which makes every race very unpredictable and hilarious. Just don't expect too much, jump in with a bunch of your friends and have a good time. And finally, we got a first-person shooter game that I really enjoyed at launch, and it is Harbinger. This one takes you into a retro-inspired boomer shooter arena where you blast through waves of monsters with fast-paced combat and mix of guns and melee. It combines old-school first-person shooter vibe with modern polish, letting you slide around the arena, gather loot between runs, and return to the tavern hub to upgrade your arsenal. The gameplay loop feels great if you love fast-paced combat and mixing up weapon loadout. It is single-player only. There is no multiplayer or PvP or anything like that, so it's perfect for solo sessions when you want to jump in and just feel powerful. Pretty solid reviews on Steam. Definitely give it a try if you haven't played it already. Well, there you have it guys, 20 awesome, completely free-to-play Steam games with overwhelmingly positive reviews, which honestly says a lot about Steam players don't hand out praise that easily. And guys, if you found a new game to try out, let me know down in the comment section. As always, if you enjoyed the video, if you found this video helpful, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and stay tuned to the channel for more free-to-play game coverage. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay safe.